rather than me talking at you all morning, I wanted to introduce you to one of the organisers, Kathryn. Kathryn's from Stop the Cashless Welfare Debit Card Australia. She's travelled all the way down from Timpama, is it? From Tanana, near Maryborough. So this is Kathryn. Hey Kathryn, how's it going?
How are you going?
So Kathryn, tell me a little bit about what your main concerns are about the cashless welfare card.
Okay, so with the cashless debit card, it removes your human rights, your privacy rights, your legal protections, consumer protections under law. Indu do not take responsibility for any financial or physical harm that you may incur while you're being forced income managed under their program, right? The government doesn't protect you. You're no longer protected by the Social Security Acts regarding protections of payments because you're exempted, because you're on the card. So you're at the mercy of a private corporation, right, that is not a trained social welfare service, doesn't offer any services whatsoever for people.
They're just doing it for the money.
They're in it for the money, mate.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all they're here for. And they like to have snide remarks at people who have to ring up when they haven't paid their rents or they haven't paid bills. Right, you don't tell single parents you only had the baby so you can get welfare. That's disgusting.
Yeah.
Right, you don't tell people who are desperate, oh, well, if you don't like it, get a job when there's no jobs.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
So can you tell us a bit about how the card works for people who aren't familiar?
It restricts 80% of a person's income goes to Indu. So under Social Security law, protections of payments, when your Social Security payment comes to your bank, that is your legal income under Australian law. What's happening here is the government isn't sending that money to your bank account. 80% of it is going straight to Indu. Our concern is that who owns it technically under law? Indu owns it because it didn't get to your bank account, right? So they have a lovely time telling people it's not your money. Do you know what I mean?
Okay, so 80% goes onto this debit card.
Onto the card, right? Then you've got to set up your permissions to pay rent. And then they have their stupid 28-day cycle, which quite often stuffs people up, or they'll reset your rent without telling you. They don't tell you.
So can you tell us a bit more about that? So landlords are saying they're not getting the rent paid on time.
Well, see, what happens is a lot of people have to get consent to transfer the rent to be able to pay the rent themselves. So they go to pay their rent and it declines. Indu hasn't told them that they've reset their rent allowance to zero, and it takes 4 days of stuffing around, of getting your lease cited again, getting the paperwork sent off to your owner or your whoever you're renting from. It's absolutely destruction for third-party casual renters.
And that must
paying cash.
Yeah, I can imagine.
A lot of people who can't get approval to get access to the cash to pay their rent because they're not on a lease or something, or it's private rental. Or
share housing.
Right? They either end up homeless or they end up having to pay the other housemates' bills in lieu of rent, or buying the groceries in lieu of rent. But this doesn't give anybody a rental ledger. It puts them at risk.
Yeah, so
right?
so if I'm in a share house and I'm on, say, income support, and I'm trying to pool my rental money with my other housemates, how would I do that on the card?
You would have to show Indu that you're on the lease.
Yeah, right.
But you might not be on the lease because you're just in a share house.
Yeah.
Right, and if you can't show them the lease and get the paperwork signed by the owner
landlord,
or the landlord or the real estate agent, sorry, too bad, you can't access your cash.
So that probably creates a situation where a lot of landlords are also more reluctant to rent to people who are on the card.
Yeah, they're not openly discriminatory, that's right, but what we've found in WA is one guy did turn around and say, it's not that we don't want to rent to people on Social Security or Indigenous people.
Yeah.
We just don't want to deal with Indu because we like to be able to pay our mortgages on time.
Yeah.
Right? Because what happened with Hinkler, which is Harvey Bay to Bundaberg, we had complaints from hundreds of real estate agents that had angry owners because the money hadn't been transferred.
Yeah, right.
Because Indu had stuffed people up, and they're still stuffing people up to this day, and they've been stuffing people up for 5 years.
Far out. So where has the card been rolled out so far? Where did it start?
It started off in 2016 in Seduna. It's supposed to be a 1-year trial. They're in 5 years so far. All payments up to the age of old age pension, including disability support pension and carers.
So in that region, anyone on disability pension has been forced onto this card.
Right.
Yeah.
Then they moved, that was in March of 2016. In April, they moved to Kununurra, Wyndham and the East Kimberley. 98% Indigenous people there, 78% in Seduna.
Yeah.
The same deal, all payments no matter what, right? Then in 2018 it moved to Kalgoorlie and the goldfields. So there's Kalgoorlie, Coolgardie, Laverton, Leonora, Menzies, Nambla. It's massive areas, and it applies to any of the like AP1 and all that sort of thing. Right.
And so their intention is eventually to roll this out nationwide.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So Hinkler is the most predominant non-Indigenous, 86% non-Indigenous. That's the we're not racist trial. You know what I mean?
Just targeting poor white people.
We're just trying to make it so it looks good on paper, so we're not targeting Aboriginal people, right? That is for under 36, youth allowance, job seeker, and parenting payments. I think they were too scared to do the whole rollout because we kicked up for 2 years protesting. They just couldn't do it. You know what I mean?
And you've said a lot of local councils have also raised concerns about the card.
Other councils that have managed to shut it down and get it stopped in their region, or not so much public protest, was Geraldton, and council backed off. Moree have voted against it twice, and they've stopped it twice coming into their region. Boom, Port Hedland, Halls Creek stopped it from going into their regions, but we find it's a bribery situation. Regions that say no to the card lose their government funding.
Right.
You know what I mean?
So can I ask, the government says that people can opt out of this card, but they're just applying it to everyone.
It's just a load of rubbish, really, because the opt-out system, right, it's just
very bureaucratic.
It's service. It's just because we've got people that put in for opt-out July last year, still waiting.
Right.
The stupid excuses used to refuse people, things like you're at risk of homelessness, but you've got a letter from the landlord stating that you've got lifelong term permanent housing now, and you've got no problems, but you're at risk of homelessness. But they make it that way.
And that's ridiculous, isn't it? To say that you can't opt out of this system if you're at risk of homelessness when anyone who's renting could be evicted, right? We have such weak rental laws. And
our social security payments are so low that nobody can rent properly anyway. Right?
Far out.
It's just ridiculous. But
and so can you tell me a bit more about some of the other impacts of being on the card? You said it's really hard to pay cash for things like second hand.
Forget your markets, forget your fruit and veg, forget your bartering. You haven't got enough cash. For a youth allowance on base rate, $60 a fortnight cash. It's $30 a week pocket money.
Say that again. So if you're on youth allowance, you'll only get
on the base rate. If you're on youth allowance, I'm not talking about COVID supplement here. Right. Say you're on the 309 dependent rate. Because they won't give you the independent, even though you're not living at home. Right. We've got a lot of those. Right? You're in a situation where that's $60 a fortnight you get access to in cash.
So you've only got $30 a week cash, and everything else goes on the card.
Right, and then you've got job seeker,
so that
means $57 a week roughly.
So that means you can't buy things like on Gumtree, online.
No, you can't use eBay. However, they've changed eBay, right? Because you can't use PayPal. But you can use Afterpay. You can sign up for third-party credit. So I think I smell a rat here because eBay's now teamed up with Afterpay, and people on the card can now buy off eBay if the seller's using Afterpay.
So it's a way to suck people into taking on debt.
Into third-party credit, and I think that's. I don't have a problem with Afterpay if you're careful with it. It works well. I've got parents that rely on it to clothe their kids because it's the only way they can do it. They swear by it. But for Indo to direct people as well, we've had that in comments. Why don't you just Afterpay it? Why can't you just give me my money so I can go and buy it?
So
you know
exactly.
I mean? What's the difference except for you're putting people under more financial risk when you're loading them up with ZipPay, Afterpay, Hum, and all the others? Why should they? Just because you're holding their money and saying, no, you can't buy that bedroom suite, you can't buy that second-hand car, go to Money 3 and pay 24.85% compound interest.
Jeez.
Right, we'll approve that for you, but we won't give you the savings for you to buy the car outright.
So you also told me that you've heard stories of people, like they go to their school fete and they can't buy stuff for their kids.
Well, they haven't got any money.
They've got no cash,
So you've got the situation, the social situation where children are missing out, right, because parents haven't got the money. So then kids come home from school saying, Mummy, are we poor? We've got poor shaming back. Right? We've got public shaming of card holders in the supermarket.
Because if someone uses the welfare card at the supermarket, everyone knows.
We had an elderly lady trying to abduct a 3-year-old off of a lady who was using her card in Kmart. The girl was skinny.
Yeah.
I know the girl. She's not a drug addict.
Yeah.
But this 70-plus-year-old lady assumed that, oh, come with us. We'll take you to the police station, little girl, because your mum's a drug addict, because she's on that card.
That's terrible.
It's the stigma, right, and the shame. And the shame. I've watched these. I've had parents broken.
Yeah.
Broken, and then they end up medicated because they can't cope with it. I've got young adolescent, a 12-year-old boy. I asked him how it made him feel. He said, I can't handle seeing my mum this sad. I mean, she's stressed out and depressed. Right, and he's trying to hold his younger siblings together.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? This is too much to put on our kids. All right, if school doesn't take the card, then you can forget your second-hand school uniforms.
Yeah.
It's cash only. You can forget your excursions. Each school's different, right?
So it essentially forces you to spend your money at the bigger businesses and supermarkets.
Multinationals that suck the money out of the country, don't pay the taxes and underpay the workers with casual rates, and guess what? The workers are on the card because they're not getting enough hours to get off centrally.
Yeah.
So all your youth allowance casuals that work at Coles and Woolies, right? Most of them in card regions are on the card, mate.
Far out.